This presentation will cover the information for Crystal Middle School Library at Crystal Middle School in Suisun City, California. The Crystal Middle School Library serves approximately 930 students in grades 6 through 8. The library provides access to technology. There are 12 desktop computers that are hardwired for internet access. There are 40 Chromebooks that are available to check out by teachers for a class set for teaching in the library. And students also have access to Wi-Fi on campus for the student access, and they can bring their own device and use that in the library or in other classrooms on campus with special permission. The library is available for teachers to use for instruction or collaborate with the teacher librarian for instruction. And there is also student access to the library both before school and during lunch. A little bit about Suisun City, California. The population is 28,644 people with a median income of about $65,000 per year. And Suisun City is a fairly small location. However, they are part of the larger Fairfield-Suisun Unified School District, which serves 22,000 students in grades K through 12. So they are a small part of a much larger district. The Fairfield-Suisun Unified School District has adopted a mission statement for their library team, and that mission statement is that the library team of Fairfield-Suisun Unified School District serves our school community as instructional leaders, developing information literate, independent learners. There are currently 5 full-time librarians employed with the district. 3 of the librarians are full-time at the 3 high school sites. The other 2 librarians split their time amongst the middle school campuses. The expected patrons for Crystal Middle School is the student body plus the staff members, which breaks down to roughly 30% 6th grade students, 33% 7th grade students, and 31% 8th grade students, with staff making up about 6% of that total expected patrons. Some additional expected patrons might be interlibrary loans for other students or staff members in the district, if students are checking out books for their younger or older siblings, or if parents or community members use the library for meetings. And that really takes up a small percentage of the expected patrons. The student ethnicity breakdown for the campus is 28% African American, 34% Hispanic, 20% white, 11% Filipino, 5% Asian, 1% Pacific Islander, and 1% American Indian. Additional patron background, about 9.1% of students on campus are English language learners, 15.3% of students with disabilities, and 71.7% are socioeconomically disadvantaged, and most of those students qualify for free or reduced lunch. When you look at the circulation statistics for this past school year, you'll see that the 6th grade class checked out or circulated 2,327 books, compared to 7th grade students who only checked out 898, or 8th grade students who only checked out 561. The 6th graders by far are in the library more, accessing books more often, and circulating those books. Part of this reason is due to 6th grade teachers taking the time to book class time to check out books, giving students the opportunity. Also, 6th grade students tend to read books that are a little bit shorter, not quite as challenging. So they are constantly in checking out new books, whereas 7th and 8th grade students are really picking up those larger novels or that more intense research and then spending more time with that particular book. While we are expecting all of our students to be patrons of the library, I did find that there are some regular crews, as I like to call them, in the Crystal Middle School Library. The morning crew of students are students who are regularly in the library between 8:30 and 9 a.m. before school starts. It's usually the same group of about 5 to 35 students. We tend to have more right before the end of a quarter when accelerated reader points are due or big projects are due. But usually there's the same core group of about 10 students, about 50% male, 50% female, who are coming in to use computers, check out books, or just have a quiet place to study. The A lunch is 6th grade only, and a lot of the students who show up in the morning are repeat students at the lunch crew for 6th grade, and they're coming in for the same reason. They're using computers to do homework, a quiet place to study or to read a book. I actually have a small group of students who come in to use the library as a place to write their own stories. The B Lunch crew, that's my 7th and 8th grade students, and they're usually all business. They come in when they need to work on something or to get a new book. They don't stay the whole entire lunch hour. So there's lots of students coming in and coming out during the B Lunch crew. Um, Usually the same faces are showing up throughout the year. The library is absolutely a place for instruction. We have established an online calendar that's available to book time for classes, to come in, to check out books, to do research, or to receive instruction. And I would say the library has classes booked during available instructional hours approximately 80% of the time. And some of that is due to teachers having prep periods or the librarian needing some time to plan instruction with a teacher before that happens. There are several types of patrons who are not coming to the library. Some of these students may be students with internet access at home, or maybe they have their own device at school. Students who are buying their books or checking their books out from the public library, or students who have other commitments at lunch or before school. Some clubs meet at lunch, band meets before school often, or they're in their teacher's room during that time. Some barriers for these patrons using the library is that the library is not always an easily accessible place on campus. There is actually a red line perimeter around the campus where students aren't allowed to go in certain zones before school or during lunch, and the library is on the opposite side of that red line. So unless a student specifically asks a campus monitor for permission to go to the library, they are just not coming in. Very few students would just walk by and say, "Oh yeah, I wanted to go to the library for XYZ." Also, a lot of teachers just aren't scheduling library time, and if they're not scheduling that time for their students, then those students won't have access to the materials. There are many core courses at the Crystal Middle School. Those courses are in English Language Arts, Math, Science, and Social Science. All students in every grade are required to take an English class, a math class, a science class, and a history class. And so there are many opportunities for students to come into the library with their core courses and learn. And of course, there are lots of electives that also can schedule time with the library. Specific curriculum support that was provided in the last year, I would say if you look in the all grades box on the left, it's helping students do research, appropriate academic research, work on bibliographies, especially using easybib.com. That means finding and evaluating their sources. And we also had a big push for digital citizenship this year and being safe online patrons. Some specific curriculum for 6th grade was a Putah Creek species research and also ancient civilizations in Egypt. That kind of threads into 7th grade where they continued researching species, and then the science projects also come into play. And 8th graders also did science project research. So there's some great opportunities to teach students the basics in one grade level and then be able to build on that curriculum as you move throughout their years of middle school.